Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to make Taco Bell's grilled cheese dipping tacos, but better. So if you want to learn how to make this super easy and delicious recipe, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alrighty guys, so let's get started with our ingredients. So for the recipe, we're going to need 4 pounds of chuck pot roast, 1 green bell pepper, 1 onion, 3 Roma tomatoes, 7 new Mexico Chile pods, 7 garlic cloves, 8 ounces of tomato sauce, 3 cups of beef stock, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons of tomato bouillon, 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of thyme, salt, and black pepper. For our creamy jalapeno sauce, we're going to need half a cup of mayo, half a cup of sour cream, chopped jalapenos and 2 tablespoons of its juice, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, half a teaspoon of cumin, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. To put our tacos together, we're going to need white corn tortillas, oil, pepper jack cheese, mild cheddar cheese, and queso Oaxaca. So these are ingredients. Now let's get started. We're going to begin by prepping our meat. I'm going to begin by cutting into large chunks. Okay, so once we have that, we're going to season it with salt and black pepper. I'm going to be using 2.5 tablespoons of salt and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. Okay, so just season it on both sides of the meat. And once we have our meat all nice and seasoned with our salt and black pepper, now we are ready to put it all together. To cook my meat, I'm going to be using my pressure cooker, but of course you can always use the stovetop. So using the saute setting, I'm going to begin by adding 2 tablespoons of oil. And we're just going to allow it to heat up. Once it's nice and hot, we're going to begin to place our meat, and we're going to be searing for 3 minutes per side. So we're just going to be doing this step in batches. After 3 minutes, we're going to flip our meat over and allow that side to sear for another 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, we remove our meat and we repeat the process to the rest of our meat. So just make sure that there's enough oil, and if there's not, add a little more. Then place the meat. Okay, and once we seared all of our meat, make sure that you add a little bit more oil. Now we're going to add our onion, just cut it into pieces, and along with our bell pepper. And now we're just going to saute it for a couple minutes. And make sure you're scraping the bottom of your pot as you're mixing. Okay, and after a couple minutes, we add our garlic cloves. We continue mixing for another minute. After the minute, we're going to add our stock along with 3 cups of water. We're also going to be adding our tomato sauce and all of our spices. So just mix it all together. And just make sure that you scrape all of the burn bits, so like that your pressure cooker don't give you a warning. So now we're just going to return our meat. Make sure you add its juice as well. And lastly, we're going to add our Roma tomatoes. Just cut them in half. Along with our chili pods, make sure that you clean them. And now we're just going to cover it. Make sure that it's set on sealing. And we're going to be switching to the meat and stew setting and allow it to cook for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay guys, and once our meat is done, we're going to allow it to rest for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, we can make our sauce as well as shred our cheese. To make our creamy jalapeno sauce is very easy. We're just going to mix our mayo and the sour cream, as well as for the jalapenos and the pickled juice, and our spices. So just mix it well. And once we mix well, just taste it and see if you want to adjust it for salt. If you want to make it more spicier, just add a little more cayenne pepper. For me, this is perfect. So now, once we have it, we can set it to the side. And after 10 minutes, we're going to carefully release the leftover steam. And once we release the steam, now we're going to carefully open it. And let me tell you that it smells delicious. So now we're just going to remove all of our meat from the broth. And the meat should be nice and tender. And try not to remove many of the chiles and the onion stuff, because we're still going to use it to blend it. And just try to get all of the meat. And once we remove all of the meat from the broth, now we're going to get ready to blend it to make our sauce. And I'm going to be using my hand blender just because it's going to be so much easier. Just carefully begin to blend. And once we have blended all of our sauce, now we're going to be straining 4 cups of it. So just be careful and strain. And to finish making our dipping sauce, we're going to be adding our tablespoon of vinegar. And just mix it. And now just taste it for salt and see if you want to adjust it. But for me, this is perfect. So now we can get ready to shred our meat. And the meat is so tender that it just falls apart. And just like that, once we have our meat all nice and shredded, we can return it back to its broth. Once we have that, now we can get ready to put our taco shells together. To make our taco shells, we're going to submerge our tortilla into hot oil. Make sure that you have it set on medium, so like that the oil is not super hot where they're just going to burn the tortilla. And just allow it to begin to harden. So once the tortilla begins to harden, we're going to flip it on 1/2, just so like that we can begin to shape our taco shell. And then grab the other side and fold it as well. And now we're just going to flip it back and forth until it gets nice and hard. Okay, and once our tortilla is nice and golden all around, it is done. So remove it from the oil, drain as much oil as possible, and we repeat the process. And once we have our taco shells, now we're going to get ready to make our cheese crust. So I'm going to be using a piece of parchment paper, place it on my comal over medium heat. Just going to add a thin layer of cheese, and I already mixed them all 3 together. We're going to allow that cheese to completely melt. And once it completely melts, we're going to carefully remove it from the comal. Going to grab our shell, place it in the center, and then just wrap it. We're going to give it a couple seconds to allow it to cool down, and then we can get ready to unwrap it and make our taco. But meanwhile, we can continue repeating the process, so like that we can have a few tacos at a time. Alrighty guys, and once we're ready to make our tacos, we can now get ready for the fun part. So of course you want to remove the paper as soon as before you're about to serve them. Just remove the parchment paper. Just like that. And look at that. Okay, so I'm going to begin by adding the jalapeno sauce on the bottom. But of course if you want to put it on top, that's all to you. Going to grab our meat, top it. Okay, and we just top it with a little more cheese. And just like that, we can get ready to serve. Going to grab our red sauce. Just like that, we can enjoy. Alrighty guys, and now for the best part, the taste test. Now let me tell you guys that I hope you give this recipe a try. It's honestly super delicious, and best part, super easy to make. Now it's very similar to my birria recipe, but it's very unique on its own way. So I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. So of course you want to enjoy them as soon as you serve them and put them together. But cheers and enjoy. When I say that it's better, I mean it. It's so good, super delicious, the best. Alright guys, and there you have it on how to make some delicious Taco Bell inspired dipping tacos. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Share with your friends and family. And if you regret this recipe, please don't forget to tag me in any of my social medias. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you guys can be part of our family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.